Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you are Tony Busby, remember that case that Tony Busby got admitted in? And I said, and they're like, this is proof that he has pro hoc VC. And I told everybody that was having 5-hour podcasts trying to sit there and talk trash, y'all are misreading the law. Well, it looks like the judge has come out and said, yo, not only did you misread the law, but you can't withdraw from this case. I gave you pro hoc VC status based off of a fraudulent filing. And now, if your team keeps it up, there's going to be problems. Now, let me be real with y'all, right? Because aside from saying, I told you so, I want to put this in perspective because Diddy's team is spinning this as a huge win. It's embarrassing for Busby. It's humiliating for Busby. It is what I said weeks ago, that he is operating really, really sloppy, and there's no guarantee he's going to be admitted in pro hoc VC. Everybody pulled up this one case as proof that I was on Jay-Z's payroll, even though Tony Busby even realized what I said and that he was going to have to withdraw from the case. He did withdraw from the case, and the judge said, no. You ain't withdrawing, baby. We got to sit down and talk. However, if you guys want the legal spin and not just like advice, but I talked to a bunch of lawyers and experts, and I'm going to give you the legal spin and let you know what's what. Long story short, this isn't as big a deal as Diddy is making it out to be. However, it is putting this woman on notice. It is putting the case on notice. They better not have any more issues. If you guys don't know, this is the Candace McCary case. This is the case that so many people pulled up to prove that I was lying or I was paid off or I was bought, because I literally said that Busby is moving really, really reckless. He is putting cases in jeopardy, and this pro hoc VC is not what it's set up to be. And I even did a video weeks ago that said Busby's going to have to withdraw from this case. I know he got admitted in a pro hoc VC, but judges can rescind that. And the word on the curve is the judge was going to rescind it, and it did. But let's talk about how this is embarrassing and humiliating for Busby. But if you're worried about the victims, which we are not we are anti-Diddy, baby. We are not a Diddy stan, obviously. We are not a Jay-Z stan. We are not a Rock Nation stan. But guess what? We're not a Tony Busby stan either. We call spades spades, and we're going to show how at least the victims, if that's what you're caring about, Candace McCrae's case is in firm. It can proceed, and this is just something purely procedural. So either way, I will always call it straight. Don't believe the hype on either side. Everybody is spinning on either side of the legal argument. These are two billionaires locked in, 3 billionaires, well, one's a former billionaire, locked into a spiral of egos. But let's separate that and actually look at the victims. Anyway, right? Why is this no big deal? Again, I'm not letting either side put 20 on 10. It's no big deal because this is a technicality. It's not substantive. I talked to a bunch of lawyers. Here's what they had to say, right? They're saying that Busby, basically his argument is, right, that this is purely procedural, okay? It doesn't affect necessarily the merits of the case, okay? His motion to appear pro hoc VC was pulled back from the judge because the judge said that you used another attorney's credentials to log into the automated electronic system and push your pro hoc VC application, because the other, basically with the pro hoc VC, the way it works is when you have co-counsel, the counsel says, listen, I'm in New York, I'm a licensed lawyer. I'm telling you, I've checked Tony Busby's credentials. He's in good standing, blah, 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 blah. Can you admit him on this case, pro hoc VC? Okay. The judge saw that paperwork and said, bet, let him come in. However, like we pointed out, it's not that simple. It was that, and this is why he withdrew from the case, because he knows that he basically tricked the court into being admitted. And once the judge was aware of these 22 other cases and the fact of the stuff, the judge might second guess it because they're very serious. The judge said, the reason why I let you in is because I had your lawyer's word in an electronic signature under his account that everything was good. You hadn't filed for any other cases. And, you know, there weren't 22 other cases. Judges only look at the cases in front of their court, or at least they're supposed to. They don't search all of Southern District in New York to see what you're doing. The judge then found out, according to the other lawyer, that Tony Busby logged into the other lawyer's account, gave the other lawyer's electronic sign off saying that Busby was 100% in the right and legit. Okay. Um, Again, but here's why it's no big deal, because Tony Busby could easily argue, okay, yeah, fine, I can appear pro hoc vici, but that doesn't change the evidence or the allegations against Sean Diddy Combs, okay? And let's be real, right? He can still be involved, but it has to be behind the scenes. They're saying that Tisa Busby can still consult. He can work with the legal team. He can even help with legal strategy, okay? And he can act in a very advisory capacity while admitted local counsel files the necessary documents. So it's not like she's lost her entire legal team. And get this, pro hoc VC denials happen. It's not unheard of at all, okay? However, the request was denied, as we see here, on technical or actually was denied on clerical grounds and technical grounds, right? Again, it's not, Tony Busby and everybody else can argue this isn't really an ethics violation for sanctions to lose his license. It literally is the courts being sticklers for procedure. Now, if you do know anything about law, you know that law is nothing but procedure. And the people that know the procedure best are usually the ones that actually win, okay? The withdrawal motion being denied, that's also not a big deal, because that withdrawal motion being denied, what people are trying to say is because the withdrawal motion was denied, and they're saying to Tony Busby, no, I'm not letting you off that case. They're saying, and I thought the same thing too, that the case could actually be thrown out, which is true. However, all it requires is a pivot. They can still assign another attorney as lead counsel and move forward. Okay, this isn't the same as sanctions or dismissal. It's just a procedural hiccup. Now, I'm not going to lie, by him not being allowed to withdraw, that literally makes it okay for the sanctions committee to now get involved and looked at, well, why are you still on the case? You're not allowed to actively practice law. Again, I do think the sanctions committee is probably going to look at this as kind of like a hiccup, because he tried to withdraw and the judge won't let him. However, the judge isn't letting him because she's saying you basically misled the court and you did something very wrong, which was log in under that It's basically like somebody logging into your bank account underneath your number and doing a wire transfer. And now there's an issue with the wire transfer. The person that, just because they put the money back into the account does not mean that they're out of trouble. You still need to be held accountable for logging into somebody's bank account and putting in a fraudulent wire transfer, all right? Now, even the ethics warning, I want to say that the judge's warning, again, the other side is putting 20 on 10. It's about grave consequences. This is like basically a warning meant to scare lawyers into tightening up. It's not a sign at all that the case is doomed, okay? So and I want to be very clear if I haven't, the victim's case will move forward. Even if Tony Busby and that other lawyer gets sanctions, they can still bring in another lawyer to move the case forward. The victim's case, because the statute of limitations has expired, it cannot be dismissed without prejudice. Without prejudice means that you can dismiss it, but you can bring it back, because the statute of limitations has told. That means that it is closed. That means that if they try to bring it back, the claims will be barred. So right now they are letting the case proceed. The biggest people in trouble are Tony Busby and that lawyer, if the lawyer let Tony Busby use that. Now, how much trouble? They're not going to be disbarred. I don't believe sanctions will happen. They might get like a legal an admonishment or a warning. But again, for somebody of Tony Busby's stature, it really is not going to hit that hard. You see what I'm saying? Again, like we said before, this is professionally humiliating. It shows a very, very sloppy onset, a sloppy work, and that reflects badly for Tony Busby's professional reputation. Y'all can be mad, but the facts are the facts. Nobody made Tony Busby move the sloppy. Nobody made the other lawyer move the sloppy. And the person that really is the person that's going to have to deal with all this is what is this girl's name? Miss McCrae. Anyway, listen, Again, for the ECF login credentials, I want to be clear on that. That is the electronic case filing system. Every federal court attorney has their own secure login and passport for submitting court documents electronically. The problem here is the judge is saying that Busby used another attorney's login, meaning he filed documents under someone else's credentials without being admitted into the court himself. Why does this matter? Federal courts take this seriously because it undermines the integrity of the court's electronic system. Each login is tied to a specific attorney's professional responsibility and accountability. Again, Busby is going to try to spin this, I believe, to be a miscommunication, or, hey, we were just taking an administrative shortcut, and that no harm is done. Sometimes firms let senior attorneys assist in filings under local legal counsel. Again, this isn't great, it's not right, but it's not unprecedented. Again, a lot of people are saying this is a paperwork problem. It is. This isn't a slight issue, but it is definitely one that Busby will recover from. It is also one that the attorney will. But again, for me, who only cares about the victims, you can literally start Busby fan clubs all you want. You can start Jay-Z. I don't care. Have them fan clubs. But for the victims, where are the people that we were originally concerned about? The case will move forward. Anything else, baby, you got to take it up with the person that actually was sloppy. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.